Hello everyone, this is Resonic the Drug Gamer. Welcome to Katawa Shoujo. Last time, we got a plan! And we're going to put it into action to make Misha no longer depressed. Although it makes me feel kind of uneasy since we're talking about a human being, the first step is to corner Misha. Though the situation is a little too much like something out of a cop drama for me, it's come to this because talking to her normally is proving to be near impossible. We do have classes together, even the very first class of the day. Although it takes a while for the announcements to come, thinking that here we're going to be working in groups today, didn't I try to make sure Misha is in ours? You know, I think Buddha assigns a suspiciously large amount of group work and self-study, don't you think so? But it's easy, so it's okay, right? Yeah, there's other stuff I've been thinking about lately that might not be okay though. Misha nods at each sentence and brushes aside. I thought about it, and I don't do enough work when I work with you and Shi-chan, so I'm going to try harder today. So, don't distract me, Hi-chan. I have to stay focused. That was an annoyingly transparent dodge. Shizune doesn't look too happy either, since Misha didn't even bother to sign any of it, opting to twirl a pen in her hand instead. From the shaky way she was doing it, I'm sure it was so she wouldn't sign anything inadvertently. But the way Misha looks, distracted and uneasy, I doubt it's because she wants to keep Shizune out of the loop for any malicious reason. Although it's still obviously a way of distancing Shizune from herself. Shizune wants to talk to you. Can I wait until later, Hi-chan? No. Why not now? We're in the middle of class. Now she's spinning a pen in each hand. I'm getting to think her signing has turned into a kind of nervous tick for her. She isn't a good replacement, though, but this isn't a good replacement. Although the sight of her dual wielding is pretty impressive. After class, then. After class, I don't waste a second bringing it back up. As everyone else flies out of the classroom, leaving the three of us alone, Misha takes increasingly longer glances in every direction except forward. Do you want to get something to eat? Why do you and Shi-chan keep asking me if I want to eat something, Hi-chan? Because we're all headed to the cafeteria and we haven't eaten together in a long time, so why not? Is this about the student council? Thinking Shizune's lack of a reply as admission, Misha sighs. Shi-chan, is that all you ever think about? Before Shizune can reply, she leaves and I have to say I'm not left feeling very confident after what just happened. Neither of us were expecting it to go smoothly, but it would have been nice. In my mind, Shizune curls her finger around her glasses for a while before signing. I know what you're thinking, but no. It's not that I think we should give her some space now. I told you I wouldn't give up so easily. Yeah, well now I'm starting to wonder if it's not too soon. Cold feet? Well, I'm not going to. That would be giving up on her. There's a fine line between helping someone and smothering them. But I just want Misha to pull herself together and stop acting so weird. I know she can do it. Even if she was to try, people can't change overnight. If they could, the world would be a much easier place. Okay, you win. Then I guess this is the part where we split up and look for her. Though I'm the only one who's really supposed to find her. If I went to her first, I'll call your cell phone. Smiling, Shizune takes out her cell phone, turning it on to prepare, and notices that she has an extremely high number of unread messages. Look at her expression. So does she. Rolling around by the strap a couple of times, she grimaces. I don't like using this thing. I can't just snap my fingers. Then what? I'm not a dog, and it doesn't travel as far as the phone thinks so. You're having a lot of fun with this, aren't you? Shaking her head from side to side, she continues. It's obvious where she will go. You can't look for her on the school grounds. She would want to go as far away as she can. Check the tea shop. It's usually empty this early. Misha loves to go there if she feels like skipping class. And she loves the parfaits they have there. You really know a lot about her, but she would overthink it and turn it into something that would seem a lot more backhanded than it actually is. So I choose to just nod and leave it instead, until I feel her holding on to my sleeve. What? I say instinctively, forgetting that she can't hear me. It feels nice that I don't have to do it all by myself anymore, because I can trust you. I'm really happy. Makes me happy to hear it. I can't think of a way to respond and end up only nodding again. That's the big hair goal! After her! Heading outside, I catch a glimpse of a pink hair behind some other girl's head. As I head that way, I realize that this is a way you go if you want to leave the school. It's the way to the student council. If I want to avoid Shizune, I wouldn't head there. It's strange that Misha would be going in that direction then. Maybe she wants to talk things over with Shizune? In that case, after one of letting things play out naturally would be such a bad idea after all. Especially if it seems to be going in a good direction. Suddenly, Misha stops and spins around, catching me by surprise. Surprise, He-chan! Were you looking for me? I had a feeling. I was going to say, hey, I was looking for you. I suppose that's no good now. She doesn't even finish her sentence before she goes past me, heading for the exit. I have to admit that Misha is infuriatingly sharper than I expected. Also surprisingly fast. Although small physical activity that I think I should be getting, I managed to catch up with her halfway to the gate. You've really been the rudest woman in the world right now. Can you just stop trying to run away for a second? I want to talk to you. Misha turns out her heels, looking mildly amused and raises her hand as if to tell me to go on. Now that I got her attention though, it's hard to think of the right thing to say. Where are you going now? To Shanghai. Can I go with you then? Wait for her to answer, feels like an eternity. It's almost as if I can hear my wristwatch ticking off by the individual seconds. Okay then, He-chan. I get the sense that she only agrees because she doesn't want to argue anymore today. When we get there, a couple comes in after us, causing Misha to jump slightly at the noise. Seeing that it is Shizune, she relaxes again, smiling almost as usual to order a parfait from Yuko, and sliding into the nearest booth. You went off too fast. You could have at least waited to see what she was going to say. Misha's angry reaction tells me it could be that she was afraid of what Shizune might say. Why are you both doing this, He-chan? Because Shizune still wants to be your friend. I guess that for her it's kind of like launching a nuclear missile from a submarine. You need 2 keys to do it. What else can she do though? She isn't automatically saddening whenever she hears or says anymore, and I'm sure that is the reason Shizune has been having so much trouble with her. If she tried to just talk it over, you wouldn't listen. Misha's guilty expression tells me I've hit the mark. Do you really hate Shizune that much? No, He-chan, I told you that. She answers without even flinching, idly playing with a spoon. Yeah, I know. I'm sure she knows it too, but I wonder if it might be easier if you did. The only thing she really thought about the last week is how to make you happy. So Shizune is still attached to you. Yesterday though, she thought that maybe it would have been easiest for you if you just hated her. Since you didn't tell her you hate her, Shizune thinks that you can both still be friends. She's like that, only thinking in extremes. But parfait is starting to melt, the ingredients coming together in tiny rivers that remind me of the growing roots of a tree being shown through time-lapse photography. That's stupid, He-chan! That's stupid! He-chan isn't that stupid, He-chan! Don't be ridiculous! It's got nothing to do with intelligence. Smart people can do stupid things. And anyway, isn't it true? I was terrified last week when we talked, but at the end, I was relieved because it sounded like things might go back to normal. I wasn't expecting you two to have a fight right after. It wasn't a fight, He-chan. It was just me yelling at her. Notice that Misha's voice never really changes in tone, just volume. It's so low with guilt that I can hardly believe it came from her. Either way, I was happy because I thought you and her could still be friends, since she needs you. No, she doesn't, He-chan. So, how do you know that? There's a lot of things Shizune doesn't vocalize, say, talk about. I'm afraid if I say the wrong thing, I'll ruin the mood. I get to finally have a conversation with her and I don't want to screw it up. What if this is the first time she's had an honest conversation with me? Just because she doesn't tell you doesn't mean she doesn't like you. That doesn't make sense! Yes, it does. Otherwise, she would argue back. You don't think so? She picks fights with everyone, so why not you? Obviously, because you are her friend, and she values you, and Shizune is hurt too. She's just awful at showing her feelings. Usually does it the wrong way too, but she still likes you. He-chan, do you remember when I said I don't want to hate He-chan or upset her? The truth is, I ended up doing both. Now it's like there's like an awkwardness between us. It's hard to explain. Both of you are so stubborn. You were talking about how you didn't want to drift apart from Shizune, but then you're going to let it happen. And Shizune is just as bad. She wants to be your friend, but respects you too much to be as aggressive as she'd be with anyone else. She let Misha interpret Shizune giving her space as a lack of caring. I screwed up already, Hee-chan. It'll happen again. I'm sure when I think about it that way, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It feels like either way, I'll end up making things worse. Then it wouldn't be better if I didn't do anything at all, right? Don't be ridiculous. Why would you even think that way in the first place? Be more positive. Should be easy for you, I want to say, but that would be presumptuous. Hey Chan, I never knew you were such an optimistic. I never expected it. You always act so gloomy when I try and surprise you. No, this is a recent thing, really. I just did it when people give up easily now. Haha! Now, huh? Makes me mad when people give up. I used to think that giving up was kind of like running away, since that's how people always describe it. Now that I think about it, it's usually more like throwing something away. When you run away from something, you can think of it as still being there. So I was in the hospital and I didn't just want to run away from my problems. I wanted to never think about them again. She eats a spoonful of her grey ice cream goo. Did she only just remember it was there now? Or could it be that she likes it that way? Anyway, my point is, you can't do that. People are too sentimental to just throw their memories out like that. It's impossible. Shizune can't think of a life in terms of anything but winning and losing. Don't you think that she wishes she didn't have to remember the parts where she loses? You can't pick and choose though. That's like wanting to live in a bubble. The worst part is, your way of thinking is so wasteful. To make you pessimistic, you're afraid of everything. Come on. Grab her hand as I wave Yuko over with the other to pay for our food. Where are we going now? Back to school before lunch over, but I want to check out a few places before then. Although I start feeling tired even after doing what could be described as on the levels of a brisk jog at best, Nisha and I eventually make it to the gate of the school with a little over 10 minutes left to spare. I didn't even want to really come to school, you know. I didn't have a choice. When I got to this gate, I'm sure part of me was thinking, what a depressing place. It didn't look depressing at all though. Well, I still thought I had everything figured out. I felt practically like another person. If I could, I'd go back and tell myself to stop thinking he can write everything off at a glance, acting like his life is already over, and he can never have fun again. School grounds are still littered with quite a few people. It's lunchtime, so it's typical. This is where you and Shizune had me help you put together 2 festivals. What a lot of hard work, I thought. I don't have time for this. I look back on it though, I didn't do all that much. I just didn't have anything better to do. I have just spent the time home alone. I drag her to our homeroom next, which is empty except for Muto trying to eat a sandwich before class resumes. Every time I thought of either you, I wished you would leave me alone, whether it was here or... Leave Muto to his lunch, we head for the nearby vending machine, and I grab a soda while I still have 5 minutes to drink it. Spent an entire lunch period with Misha, long as both Shizune and I managed to find to talk to her in days. Going to the cafeteria, or trying to corner me after half my classes. I never realized we only talked like 4 times. It really was all in my head. I only barely realized it now. I remember that, Hee-chan, but I know where all these places are too. Wait, let me finish my guided tour, since we're running out of time. By the way, do you want a soda? I can't wait to the stairwell. I'm glad I don't have to pull her by the hand anymore. You get dizzy on stairs, right? Yeah. I guess just feels good enough then. Then against the wall as Misha sits down on the steps across from me. Do you ever miss the people you went to school with in elementary school or middle school? No? That was fast. She didn't even have to think about it. Myself cringing reflectively. I had more friends in my old school, but I don't talk to them anymore. It almost feels like that was another lifetime ago, which is sad really. Sometimes I want to talk to them again, but I know I can't. I'm scared and embarrassed. Things like that. They're too far away from me now to go see them. Then I think about calling them, but I don't know most of their numbers. And I left on a sour note, so why would they want to see me again? It feels like I should just forget about it, but I still think about it anyway and regret that I didn't try harder to stay in touch somehow. And I start to think that maybe feeling like I should forget about it is wrong. It would be an insult to all those people I've had fun with and a waste of all the good times. Like I said before, even if there are some bad times too, it's alright if you can look back on them as happy memories. But I didn't even think about it then. So, it was like I woke up one day and realized I had no friends. I just let myself lose all my friends, and it felt awful. I'd really hate it if you and Shizune ended up the same way. That's all. That's all? Makes me sad to think that you'll do the same thing and push away your friend. Especially because you're not far away from Shizune. I mean, you even live in the same dorm. Friend, Are you my friend too, Hee-chan? Yeah. I slept through all of it, but the fireworks were really nice way back at the festival. My first time seeing fireworks like that, and my first time really seeing the sky in a while. I've never really looked at the stars before then either. I stumbled through a book about them while I was at the hospital though and learned a lot. Like that stars aren't just burning, they're more like in a constant chain of explosions so far away that some of the stars I've been seeing would have been burnt out for thousands of years already. That their light would only just then be reaching Earth. I saw a markup comparing the size of the planet to our sun, and then that to other suns. Japan wasn't even visible on the tiny Earth in that book. You know what I never realized? He looked at me expectantly. They are amazingly shiny. It's true. Why are you doing this, Hee-chan? Hee-chan? Doing what? I'm not stupid. I don't know. A bunch of reasons. Because you're Shizune's friend, and I liked how close you were. And maybe I'm trying to tell you that we all have our low points, but giving up is stupid. Anyway, it seems worth the trouble. That's the only reason? And because you're my friend. That's it? Can't I do something for no reason? You can, but I want to know. Well, what else do you want to hear? The bell rings before Misha can reply, so she's out laughing instead. Making progress. I see less of Misha in the following days, but I don't worry because when I do see her, she looks a lot more like her old self each time. Once it's clear enough that I don't have to be afraid of it being my wishful thinking, coloring my perceptions, I start to relax again. I wake up very early and feeling sick on Sunday. I went to sleep too early last night, too. Something's also wrong with my curtains and they won't close completely. Because of that, I can't even attempt to go back to sleep. The sun hits me in the eyes every time. I'm sure this is probably why I woke up so early this morning as well. Being this sick and tired in a perfect storm of frustration, I'm almost glad when there's a knock on the door. It's a familiar person holding an almost completely eaten apple in his hand. Taking one last bite, he attempts to shoot it into my trash can and misses it completely. It smashes apart on my walls 2 meters too high. To be fair, most of the pieces afterwards do manage to fall in the trash can, but I'm pretty sure no one is so brazen that they would be aiming to do something like this on purpose. Perfect shot! What's up, roomie? I'm not your roomie, we don't live in the same room. It doesn't matter. It does. You should at least know the difference between living in the same building and living in the same room. I need to use your room. For what? I messed up. I should have said absolutely not. Student council keeps delivering my mail, even though I asked them to put it into my locker or something. They keep putting it under my door, delivering my mail without me noticing it. So today, I'm lying in wait to catch them in the act, like a detective or safari hunter. I didn't show in your room for today. I looked through that little peephole, so I won't be able to catch them in the act. Maybe tomorrow too. It'll be awesome. We'll get pizza on both days. Or maybe we should get pizza on just one day and something else on the other day. But what? And which day is pizza day? Not today, never. You know I'm in the student council. Why didn't you just ask me about this? If he had, I would have been able to find out very easily and wouldn't have to have Kenji in my room. It's a win-win. Except I guess this way he might be able to get pizza out of me. But I'm thinking that maybe that was Kenji's intention. But no, I doubt it. There's no way he could plan something that elaborate. You know, when they deliver mail? No. They just hand me my mail when I go to the student council, usually. The point is, I could find out by asking them. Then I'd know and I could tell you. That's how people find things out, by asking. Not caveman. Oh yeah, no response to that, right? Checkmate. Use your own peephole. What if they see me? They can't. That's how peepholes work. It's like a one-way glass. For real? Well, no way. They'll be expecting me to be in my room. Anyway, they'll sense my presence and know I'm there. They never expect me to actually be in the room across the hall! I'm going to go to the student council room and go get your mail for you right now. I guess I can't let you leave. That's dumb. What if I have to use the toilet? Your games won't work on me! I sit down at my desk and start doing my homework for the weekend. You know, you're going to have to leave eventually, so you can't stay here forever. Or keep me here forever. I mean, this is my room to begin with. Yeah, I don't think I can. What time does the mail usually come? Now. Why are women so slow? Why do you care so much about the mail anyway? Are you expecting something? I'm always expecting something. Not today, though. Do you want them to send something? Do you even send mail? Nope. That's how they get you. I haven't used the mail since I was 8. Sent a letter to Lego asking them to make Dragon Ball Legos. Hold on, I didn't even see. Is this an actual thing? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not exactly. Like, they're not exactly, like, actually endorsed by Legos, but yeah. There's, like, some mock ones you can get. Oh no, apparently there's a Dragon Ball Super Lego set that was released November 18. And it looks like they did it for the Great Ape. Which, to be fair, it's a monkey, actually, not an ape, but still. They said they couldn't get the rights and give me some coupons. Totally worth it, but after that I had to make sure that they stay off the radar. You don't use mail, do you? I wrote to my parents last week. But that's how they get you! Yes, I should have known. Maybe that's why they put that microchip in me the next day. So, the rumors were true. I like to know what rumor mill he got that from. I was kidding, it's a joke. Joke? Damn you! You joke on me?! I guess that's how they always feels. To have jokes cracked on. I never thought it happened to me. This is a serious issue, man. I think you are not appreciating the depth of my dilemma. It's a walk in many acts, complicated acts, with many players. It's really hard, okay? After I'm done, I'm going to eat a whole fish to celebrate. Ah, shit, I want a pizza, though. I still want pizza. Can I get fish on pizza? Do they do that now? You're going to be paying for it. You still haven't paid me back, and I'm not hungry right now anyways. Not in the mood for pizza? That's just not possible, son. There's gotta be pizza. Anyway, I'm in the pizza stage of my life. Before I was in an ice cream stage, but my girlfriend kept eating all the strawberry out of my Neapolitan. That'll probably happen to you, too. Ah. Whenever I do Kenji's voice, I, like, scrunch my neck down and, like, raise my elbows. To help get into the mood, and God, does that pain... Ah. Go in that pose can be a pain. It's hard to tell if he's serious half the time. I can only see his expression when he's not nose deep in my door. I doubt that. Hey, you know, I do have a girlfriend, right? I didn't want to go either. The student council president, actually. Old news. What? Seriously? I have my sources. Anyway, then it dawned on me that I got too fat from all that ice cream. It was a rude awakening, like sleeping on a bench, getting hit by a wave that destroys your sandcastle. Well, sandcastles are temporary. I started running. How to lose the pounds. But maybe I was really running away from myself. A sudden and continuous knocking causes him to leap backwards, far enough to hit the wall all the way behind him. Takes the opportunity to walk over and open the door. Good morning. What's up? I hear if you stop the doorway, they can't enter uninvited. I'm not going to put stone in my doorway. That's for vampires. But you're considering it. Good. Good morning. Are you here to deliver the mail? Darling, Shizune waves a couple of envelopes between our faces, taking them from her, freeing up her hands for conversation. How did you know? How did you know? You were hiding it behind your back in a really obvious way. Hiding what? The mail. It's okay. I wasn't trying very hard to hide it in the first place. It's not like you. You're the type of person who go anything worth trying is worth trying hard. Girls taking initiative? And what about me? I've been using that phrase for years. Where's my parade, dog? I spent literally gold and you women just steal it and wear it out like a 2-for-1 sundress. You're all like Picardo to my cook. Well, you could even be Janeway. Not all the time. Are you making fun of me? I'm noticing Kenji. She gives him a wave. Hey Kenji, the student council president says hi. Hi. Introduce me. I have no idea what he's saying, but it looked confident. Oh yes! No one is better at saying that kind of stuff confidently. I already did. I even introduced you by title. This is Kenji. He's the guy across the hall. His room's right behind you. Anyway, do you have his mail too? I'm only delivering your mail because it was there. I have early access. It's all about location. Consider it a perk of being in the student council. This doesn't sound very fair. She takes a lot of liberties with her position. At least those small ones. This is the first time I've really been able to see your room. Did the blatant lie, or she have signed it much faster? I'm sure Shizune remembers that's not the first time. Why does he get to see your room and I can't? Is it a guy thing? It's not a secret club being a guy. As it should be! With rings! Rings with badass emblems! And gold! Are you sure? Are you really sure? I always thought that there was a secret brotherhood of men. Why is she ignoring me? Let me tell you about the guy club. Also, what's up with the hand signals? Is she trying to hex me or something? No, stay out of this. I'll have to translate anything you say to her, and I'm not sure if I could even handle it. And she'll probably misunderstand it. And then you'll probably misunderstand the reply, and I'll have to translate your rebuttal. Rebuttal? Why would I rebut? I like my butt. What is he saying? He says he has no rebuttal. Rebuttal. Rebuttal to what? I haven't even begun to challenge him yet. I don't like the way she put that. So it appears that she wants to. But about what? It doesn't matter since it wouldn't end well. Don't pick fights where there are none. I've never met your friends. Why can't I? It looks like he's being passionate. I suppose with the way he's flailing about, it would be stupid to expect Shizune to think otherwise. No, I better change the subject. Not that it would be likely to work on her, but I'm sure that she has to have come here for a reason, other than just to drop my mail off. If it was something that tiny, she wouldn't even have bothered knocking. You didn't come here to just give me the mail, or chat up with my friends, did you? Shizune snapped her fingers in mock frustration. It's as cringe-inducingly loud as ever. Yeah, right. Let's go somewhere again. You have somewhere else in mind already? Yeah, right again. Let's get to the usual place. There's out a bag of neatly wrapped containers from just outside of the door frame. I'm guessing they're filled with food, and this time, it doesn't look like store-bought. Sitting down between her feet, she continues. Is that for me? This is a real prize, see? I have to have something over everyone at the end of the year. I agree, and the way people normally do when someone makes a statement in front of them that tells them more than what they meant to tell. Well, fine, if you're both going to ignore me, I'm out of here. So cruel. You'll regret this! God damn, we got Kenji. Oh! Not long afterwards, we found ourselves on the school roof. Is it normally deserted at this time? On a nice day like this? On the weekend? No, of course not. I can only think that it's because of Shizune. Not that clearing out a roof would require anything more than posting a sign on the door. The empty plastic container Shizune has packed our meal in line next to me. It was another quiet meal, since holding chopsticks prevent us from saying much to each other. Well, it's not blowing hard enough to be a problem. The wind is a little strong today. It blows the plastic bags loose from under the empty container, so it rips around a bit before rolling over my legs and getting caught on the tip of Shizune's shoe. Really, she grabs and starts signing, not looking happy that I'm laughing at her, even though she's trying not to let out a laugh herself. With the bag in the way, however, she has to eventually sit on it to continue. Very funny. How was it? The food? It tasted familiar. That means it was bad. Oh no, I remember eating this exact meal before when you made it. Not exactly the same. The fried shrimp was new. The only thing I know how to make, but I should have improved. How many times have you made it before? This is the second time. Making this particular meal? Cooking. Next time, it's your turn to try. The way she keeps tugging on the corner of the bag is bothering me. I think I know why she's doing it. Is it really bugging you that much? I want to pack them up properly. It's okay, I'll get them. As I'm picking them up, I realized she must have bought a lot of food to be able to fill all these containers. Didn't even eat much. Shizune must have some metabolism in order to pack all that away. And though I've only been up for a second, it's long enough to stupidly trip over my own feet. Barely managing to break my fall, I end up landing on my elbows and knees right next to Shizune's lap. Oh, crap. As I pull myself back up, hand gingerly held on my chest, All I can think about is how my knees hurt and how this fall could have killed me. I feel nauseous. Shizune gives me a helpful push on my shoulder to help me upright, though I notice her eyeing me oddly. Unfortunately, even a light shove is enough to take me by surprise. Are you okay? I know, but we don't return to sitting beside each other. Naturally, being alone with Shizune is going to involve a lot of silence. But only I start to notice it now. Typical sign of awkwardness. Again. She's the one breaking the ice. I was expecting you to try something dirty. I can't try something dirty with thy heart! And now the mood is back to awkward. How's Misha? Misha seems happier now, back to her old self. I thought this would have been a good way to celebrate, and to thank you for helping her. Her hand stumbles for a bit on the last word. You think too much like a businesswoman. I can't help it. It's how I've been taught to do things. It makes me happy that you're asking about Misha. It would be more accurate to say back to her real self. She would only be able to be back to her old self to you. The Misha you know is completely different from the one I think of. When I think of the first time we met, even though I think she looks better, cheerful, and smiling, that isn't how she typically is. I wonder if that's true for you too. An answer. Well, if Misha's happy, then it doesn't matter. If it worked out in the end, your plan worked. You knew her just as well as you said. You knew everything she would say. If your idea was just that I'd speak for you, though, doesn't that make me your puppet? I didn't do anything then. Not true. It was your idea first. I was wrong. I have a way of seeing things that is very flawed, now that I've thought about it. I'm sure you know. Sometimes, I treat everything like a competition between myself and everyone else, even when it doesn't make sense though. Sometimes? I know very well how easy it is to ignore someone, if they can only communicate with you through sign. I should have asked for help, but I was so sure I could do it on my own. It was actually a brave thing you did, even if you won't take credit for it. Aside from that, you've really become kind of admirable lately. It's strange having her compliment me while her facial expression hasn't changed in the slightest. But people don't change so easily, according to you. Am I right? She winks, clearly enjoying herself very much. Does Misha tell you everything? Almost everything. I guess you're going to tell me that I'm wrong about that, aren't you? Yes and no. I'm the one who told Misha that before anyone else, but she took it too far and changed the meaning. It's not easy, but she acts like that makes it impossible. It's possible if you go little by little. I'm considering trying to be less competitive. I thought you enjoyed that though. Maybe just a little. That's why I specifically used less. She leans against the fence. I have something I want to say to her, but it doesn't seem just like the right time for it. Somehow, it's a feeling I have. I can tell she isn't done just yet. A lot of people don't think I try too hard. Well, I always thought that I tried to try just enough. Then the fence makes as she pushes against it, and the delicate clink of her sleeve buttons scraping against the links are oddly soothing. So is the breeze gently picking up behind me. I can hear people below us. Shizune's eyes dart below us as well. I wonder if she still thinks about what she might be missing out on. The attention-grabbing way she tends to snap her fingers proves she has an understanding of how people perceive sound. It must be odd, being able to understand that much, but unable to experience it yourself. She starts walking slowly around the perimeter of the roof, still scraping her buttons against the fence. It isn't rhythmic at all, though not for lack of trying. She'll zone out though while she does, and am brutally snapped out of it when she circles around completely and taps me on the shoulder. Do you remember what we were talking about? When? Now? Of course, just happened. It's been about almost 10 minutes. When I first saw you, you seemed like you were very attached to the idea of feeling sorry for yourself. That stings, even if it was true. Sorry. It made me want to cheer you up at first sight. I was scared it would be for nothing though. I couldn't help thinking it would be hard to change your mind. But you did. I thought that was very surprising, and also that you might be kind of easily influenced. I was surprised. It made me reconsider a lot of things. I thought maybe everything was worth it in the end. Everything? That's why I like you. I see. It's nice to finally know. That's all for this time. This is Resonic the Jug Gamer. I hope you enjoyed the series so far, and I hope to see all you guys again next time where we might finish it. We'll see. See you guys then.